Alright, thank you guys so much for joining today's video. Today is November 11th, 2024, and today I believe is a bank holiday, so don't anticipate too much volatility inside the markets. So now that we've got that covered, let's go take a look at what's happening here on the 4-hour, 6-hour, 6-hour, and 8-hour time frame. We have, well, depending on how we close here on this 4-hour and 8-hour candle will tell me if we are going to be bearish or bullish here. As of right now, like I said, if the 8-hour closes right now, I would anticipate lower prices. What is the weekly objective here? Well, I was anticipating for previous week's high to be taken, and we instantly took previous week's high at Sunday's opening. So the weekly objective for me at least has been completed. Very simple. So now it depends on if we do get bearish structure, I could see this fair value gap get rebalanced on the daily time frame. So that could be an objective coming into like the intraday intraday trading at least. But as of right now, I have no bias here on a Monday morning. We need more price structure. We just completed a major objective, previous week's high, and we're just continuing to make new all-time highs too, which is interesting. So I'm just gonna wait for more information, wait for more price structure, and I'll just be trading the intraday models or intra-session models here. But yeah, like I said, usually my morning objective will be given to me by how we close here on this 4-hour and 8-hour time frame. If we close and create a bearish 4-hour and 8-hour candle, then I would anticipate lower prices. I want to see us take out that 8-hour low, 4-hour low, and yeah. Give me a second. Let me log into my account here. But yeah. That's pretty much all I do have for my breakdown at least. There you go. And so it looks like we're starting to sell off here a little bit. So if we can get a 4-hour dealing range here, where is the discount of this dealing range? So like I said, I want to see us create that bearish I want to see us create that bearish 4-hour candle and 8-hour candle. And here it looks like we could retrace back inside discount. So that's something that we could also take a look into. Give me a second. All right. So like I said, let me turn off this webcam. Oh, whoops, not that one. So like I said, I do want to see us. I want to wait and see how we close here on this 8-hour and 4-hour candle, but as of right now, I can conclude that we are probably going to retrace back into discount of the 4-hour dealing range at least. Well, so referring back to what I mean by why do prices move, there are 4 reasons why they move here. Prices moves to generate liquidity, take liquidity, retrace back into equilibrium, and rebalance inefficiencies. In this case, we are retracing back into equilibrium. So from this swing low to this swing high, that is a dealing range, right? So essentially the halfway mark is equilibrium. Anything below the equilibrium is discount. Anything above is premium. In this case, we are technically in premium right now. So prices wants to trade back into a discount of the dealing range for, how do I say this? It wants to trade back for better prices, essentially. All right, there we go. So like I said, we retrace back into discount, but why can we still see lower prices? Because of how I want to see, like I said, I want to see how we close here on this 8-hour and 4-hour candle. This is a nice little sell-off here that we have. Sorry if you guys hear me eating chips. I'm kind of hungry. Very, very nice though. I mean, we took out previous week's high. This could be considered a market structure shift here. Market structure shift. And that depends on if we do end up creating an hourly fair value gap, but this would create a market structure shift, displacement to the downside. That means the objective now would be previous day low. 10 more minutes left. 10 more minutes left, and like I said, I'm anticipating for the 4-hour and 8-hour load to be taken. But one key thing is I require a entry pattern. If I'm not giving an entry pattern, I'm not gonna enter anything. So what I'll wait on is I want to see how we create this 15-minute fair value gap. If we create a 15-minute fair value gap that could be rebalanced into, I'm gonna wait and see how prices trades up into that fair value gap. And if we create a bearish 15-minute fair value gap, then I'm sorry, if we create a bearish 15-minute candle after trading into the 15-minute fair value gap, then I'll consider taking the model to target the 4-hour and 8-hour low. If we don't, so let's say this 15-minute candle closes right now. I am anticipating for the 15-minute candle, the next 15-minute candle to open, create a high, and then take out the 15-minute low slash 30-minute low slash hourly low slash 4-hour low slash 8-hour low. First, I'm not anticipating for prices to trade up into this fair value gap if we create it like this. If we close below the second fair value gap candle's low, so this gray line right here, if we close below that gray line, that indicates, or that helps me anticipate that this 15-minute fair value gap that we will create to be a breakaway gap. So like there's still about 7 minutes left here. So I mean, anything could happen, but like I said, I want to see how we create the 15-minute fair value gap first before anything happens. Before I really choose whether or not I'm gonna take if I'm gonna take an entry or not. Alright, so on this here, I'll go over some of the pros and cons right after I get some water. 4 minutes left. Or about 33 minutes and 30 seconds left. And it looks like we could end up actually creating a breakaway gap. So like I said, if we create a breakaway gap and we take out the 4 hour and 8 hour low, I'm gonna stop looking at the charts for today's morning. Yeah. So some of the pros and cons here from previous week is previous week I ended up not taking a single trade. I didn't take anything, and yeah, I was able to stay patient, and I allowed myself to sit on the sidelines and just anticipate price action. Sometimes I can anticipate where prices wants to go, but if there's no entry pattern or if there's no entry model for me to take it, then I'm just not gonna take it. I'm just gonna have to watch and see if my idea does complete, right? So the entirety of last week, my model never presented itself, so I just stayed on the sidelines, and like I said, I just watched where I'm anticipating where prices will go. Staying disciplined to the model that I have and knowing when to stay away from poor market conditions has been something I've gotten better at, and yeah, just understanding what low probability conditions are, and knowing when the objective has already been taken. So like I said, the third point here is, or the second point here is just like going back to the first point. If I'm not giving an entry model or if I'm not giving an entry pattern, then I'm not going to take the model at all. And the third thing isn't really something that's like that I just did. It's just something that I've been able to actually type it out, word it, is understanding what prices wants to do at this current moment, right? So like let's say I'm bullish on the monthly time frame, right? Like I'm still overall bullish. I still want to see prices respect this daily fair value gap. But what do prices want to do at this current moment? Like what do we want to do right now? Well, if we go into the lower time frames, it appears that we could treat this 15-minute fair value gap as a breakaway gap, and the present moment, I'm anticipating for this 15-minute low to be taken. I want to see this 15-minute low get taken before anything else, right? I want to see it get taken before we retrace back inside the 15-minute fair value gap. So with that in mind, that basically summarizes the third point here, is understanding what do we want to do at the current moment. And that's just a little sneak peek of what that basically is. But yeah, like I said, overall we're bullish, but at this very moment, I'm anticipating for prices to take out the 4 hour and 8 hour low. After we take out the 4 hour and 8 hour low, we could end up retracing all the way back into previous day low. And yeah, so here I'm anticipating this fair value gap to be a breakaway gap. This next 15-minute candle, I'm anticipating it to be an open, high, tap into some sort of PD array, take out the 15-minute low. After we take out the 15-minute low, then that's where I move stops break even, because that's all I can see prices do. Well, I can actually see us take out previous day lows too, so I'll leave a runner for that. But my objective here is 15-minute low gets taken, and the 15-minute low is essentially the 30-minute low, hourly low, 4 hour low, and 8 hour low. And like I said, this 15-minute fair value gap is a breakaway gap. That means I don't want to see prices on this next 15-minute candle retrace all the way back into it and then continue lower. I want to see prices take out the 15-minute low first, and then after we do that, I don't care if we get a retrace all the way back into it or not. But let's see what we do here. So the 4-hour low and the 8-hour low is my objective. And that basically summarizes, like I said, that's what it means to be trading the current moment. Some of the, I guess, the negatives here, some of the stuff that I could work on is requiring every single trade that I take, every single model, to have a higher time frame objective, right? So what's the higher time frame objective? I've stated 4 of them this morning. To rebalance inefficiencies, to retrace back into equilibrium, to take and generate liquidity. That's essentially what these models are, or essentially what a higher time frame objective is. Because every single time frame will have these objectives, right? It just, prices is fractal. Time is fractal. So EQ model, expansion model, and rebalance model. No matter how good the model looks, no matter how good the trade looks, and even if the objective is so clear, if you're not given an entry model, you're not to take it. And even if the model looks extremely good, right? If there's no higher time frame objective, you cannot take it. It's simple as that. You cannot take the model. And yeah, that basically is all of the pros and cons. Here are some of the improvements here I can make. So being more selective with the trades I take, requiring a higher time frame objective, trading a little bit more aggressively here, and continue to practice patience, and just being extremely focused on whatever I'm doing at that current moment, whether that be trading right now or, you know, playing chess, going, even resting is something that you need to focus on. You can't do, if you're going to get actual rest, you should simply solely focus on resting, not going on the phone or anything like that. And yeah, like I said, going back to the markets, what do? Complete the 15-minute objective. After we take out the 15-minute objective, that's my bare minimum, right? My stops is moved to break even, and I just let prices do its thing. So, I mean, now I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, we just took out basically the morning objective. What can we do from here? I mean, we could continue to be bearish, right? Create 15-minute candles that should be treated as breakaway gaps. Or will we get some sort of retracement? Will we get a hourly immediate rebalance? So will we retrace back into this high right here, or this low, sorry? Will we retrace all the way back up into here? That means if we do get an immediate rebalance, that means prices has to trade all the way up into this, into here, and yeah, something like that. Not really anticipating that. I'm anticipating a creation of a hourly fair value gap. Yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today's stream here. Let's see. Because like I said, we've completed the weekly objective. So weekly objective on NQ, previous week's high. After that, I would trade intraday models. What I'm doing right here. ES, same thing. ES, we've already taken out previous week's high. There's previous week's high. Previous day high. And yeah, there it is. There it is. So now that we've completed the weekly objective on both the indices, I'll trade intraday models. Meaning I'll wait and see how this daily candle closes, and depending on how we close there will tell me if we're going to continue lower or not. But yeah, that wraps it up for today's